It's a beautiful week again, and it's our pleasure to bring you the very best of sports show on TV. My name is Brownson, Unwana, and this is Sport Pizza, where we give you the absolute best in the ever-exciting world of sports. Now, lots of things making the rounds. African Cup of Nations on top of the burner, and there have been lots of controversial decisions by referee, and a lot of people have also questioned the use of the VAR, the effectiveness in this tournament. And also, good to say that one of the teams that sent Nigeria packing, talking about Tunisia, they've also been sent packing on the tournament. And the host nation, Cameroon, putting up good performances. And some of the teams also doing well in the tournament. Also, lots of things making around. The transfer window officially closed on Monday. And they'll be giving you some few transfer deal that were concluded. And also, big news in the world of tennis. We'll be giving you all the 411, but that will be after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back. Now, my strike partner, Kunle Philip, joins me at this time. Kunle, good to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brownson. It's great to be here once again to talk sports. We are gradually winding down to the end of the African Cup of Nations. Boys have been separated from men. Sad that the Super Eagles of Nigeria has been ousted, but of course, it's been very, very exciting.
Very exciting indeed. Now, we're going to start the show with the African Cup of Nations, but before we look at the teams that are through to the next phase of the tournament, let's look at some decisions that have cost many teams their chance in this round of the tournament. Now, the referees have been, they've played a very pivotal role in the tournament so far. Now, if you look at what they have done, most teams have suffered because of their decisions, and even with the help of VAR, the referee seems not to know what to do at a particular time. Now, the game between Cape Verde and Senegal, sometimes last week, we saw Cape Verde picking up 2 red cards in that game. And of course, Senegal went on to win that game. And there were also another food of thoughts that says that the red cards suffered in this tournament were largely gotten by the weaker team in the tournament.
No, it wasn't gotten by the weaker teams, Brownson. The game is involving the Super Eagles of Nigeria and KTG Eagles also attracted a red card. So I think that the referees have been so hard on some of the teams. I quite agree with you on to an extent as far as that is concerned, because some decisions will favor some of these big teams, but it doesn't favor the smaller teams, and for me, it's very disappointing. You remember even the case of the Super Eagles of Nigeria against, I think it was against Sudan, where we were leading by 3-0, and the Sudanese had a chance to score. There was an infringement by Olaino, and at the end of the day, the VAR had to call the referee, and they got the penalty as regards that. But most of the decisions have actually favored the bigger teams, and have actually worked against the smaller teams, and to a very large extent. But for me, it's been a very disappointing one. Over 13 red cards has been issued so far. It's for me, when you look at the past event, how events have actually unfolded, where we get to see 3, 4, 5, 6 red cards being issued in the whole tournament, you will begin to wonder what could have happened, because some of the decisions for me, there are things that the referee could have just overlooked. And that is the way we play our football in Africa. Some of the decisions, African football is
more
full of physicality.
Yeah.
And I think that some of these decisions should have been overlooked. Like the game involving Nigeria and the Tunisians, the KTGs of Tunisia, the red card awarded to Alex Iwobi for me was not justified. Yes, there was an infringement, but prior to that that particular incident, the Tunisian player was actually holding on to Wilfred Didi, trying as much as possible to foul him, but Wilfred Didi didn't go down. The referee was there. It was right before his very high, and I'm wondering why he couldn't visualize that. And then indeed, he eventually released the pass to Alex Iwobi, and Alex, trying to guide the ball, didn't know it happened. And then the referee called him back, the VAR called him back. And you know, when the VAR shows you this, it is still your decision as a referee. You have the final decision to make. But it has not really favored some of these teams. For me, it's been absolutely disappointing. When you're playing against Senegal, against Cape Verde, and you have to
2 red cards.
Red card against the Cambodians.
It's funny
even
because
Cameroon against Comoros. The Comoros, how do you call them? The team of Comoros were on top of their game in that match. They were giving the Cameroonians a good shot. They were trying not that, even with a man down.
And then the red card came and killed the game.
But then, when you play against a strong team like Cameroon, you expect that a team like Comoros will lose at the end.
Even the game between Cape Verde and Senegal, the game was goalless before the. I think with the first red card, it was still goalless. Second red card was still goalless before the goal started coming towards the end of the game. Now, let's analyze the VAR situation. Now, if you have an incident on the pitch of play, and VAR calls back the referee to say, okay, we think there's an incident you might want to see again. Do you think referees in this tournament have looked at the screen and returned back with a very good decision?
No. I think the African referees each tournament so far has been a big mess. When I'll score the officials 40% in this tournament so far. The officials have been absolutely disappointing because when you call them, some of them when they call them and they begin to talk, some of them do not go back to see the incident itself, while some go back. And even when you go back, like I said earlier, you still have the decision to make. You might likely look at it that, okay, probably this wasn't so much, and it could spoil the flow of the game, and you probably just wave it off. But some of them just immediately they see this, they give them, and it has destroyed the African Cup of Nations for 2021 to a large extent.
Yeah.
Because for me, the number of red cards, when you have over 13 red cards so far, you have always rest assured that a game involving a big team against a small team the smaller team will definitely get a red card. Well, it leaves much to be desired for me. The referees, the VAR for me has scored low. When you look at the comment that is being made by all the foreign pundits, the foreign expatriates, I tell you, they've been making a mess of the African Cup of Nations.
And it's sad. And I don't know what CAF will do to resume the image because one mistake for a continent will take a longer time to fix. But with what we've seen in this African Cup of Nations, especially as it involves refereeing, we really frowned about that. Not because Nigeria were giving red card in our last game, the round of 16. No, it's because looking at it holistically, we haven't done so well as far as the African Cup of Nations officiating is concerned. So CAF, we may want to have a second or a rethink or revisit the coaching situation as far as this Nations Cup.
Situation?
Yeah, the refereeing situation, I beg your pardon, so that the next one next year will have a very good tournament. Now, let's also look at some teams that have done well. Burkina Faso, must be said, had been very impressive. Now, Burkina Faso came to this tournament, nobody mentioned them as favourites. And if you look at where they are right now, you must agree that they've put themselves in a very good position. Now, Super Eagles of Nigeria was sent packing by Tunisia, the Atlas Lion, the Carthage Lion of Tunisia. But, Burkina Faso, most Nigerians were already looking forward to the winners of Burkina Faso and the other team. But Tunisia did the dirty job against Nigeria, and yet they were sent packing by Burkina Faso.
Yeah, a very good one for the Stallions of Burkina Faso against the KTG of Tunisia. The Burkina base, yes, no one gave them a chance. Even in their last game against Gabon, they had to fight tooth and nail to ensure that they got that win. It ended in a penalty shootout, and they eventually got the job done against them. Coming up against the KTG of Tunisia, one would have expected, by virtue of the fact that the Tunisians defeated the favorite team of the competition, I'm talking about the Eagles of Nigeria, to continue in that ascendancy against the Stallions of Burkina Faso. It made it very obvious that the technical crew of the Super Eagles made a very big blunder against the Tunisians. There's nothing spectacular about the Tunisians. The Burkina Faso deserved to win the game, and they took the game to them, dictated the pace, and they were on the ascendancy from the beginning to the very end, though the Tunisians actually came out fighting, but their fight and all of that wasn't good enough as the Stallions ran away victorious in that game. For me, a good one for the Burkina Faso, and in the last about 4 tournaments so far. I remember in 2013, they played in the final against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They've been to about 3 semi-finals. They played in about 3 semi-finals in 5 African Cup of Nations. Says so much about the development.
So this might just be their time. They might just be knocking. They've been knocking.
It's going to be very difficult for the Stallions to really win this one. Remember, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon are still competing, and one other North African country are also going to be justly for honor. So I think that the Burkina Faso so far are so good for them. They've done well, but he who says impossibility is nothing when it comes to the round leather game. And of course, the Burkina base can also nick it.
Must be said, Burkina Faso looks so good to probably get to the final, but how well can they hold this down? Now, in the quarterfinal, there were lots of talk about the game between Morocco and Egypt. Now, Mo Salah, lots of hype against him. A lot of people have criticized the fact that he hasn't been very fantastic in this tournament. Morocco as well, there were lots of talks about this game. Now, you want to find out how it ended? I'm sure you know, so let's take it straight to the highlights of this game. Welcome back. Now, with Nigerians still in the pain of the exit of the Super Eagles from the African Cup of Nations, there are lots of questions still left unanswered as the fate of who becomes the next coach or manager of the Super Eagles is still hanging in the corner. Now, report has it that Austin Eguavoen might be given a permanent role to coach the Super Eagles. I mean, that's like on the flip side of reports that reached us before the kickoff of African Cup of Nations that a pre-contract with a foreign coach has been signed. Kunle, before the African Cup of Nations, there were reports that Jose Pacero has signed a pre-contract to take over the Super Eagles job. Now, we saw what Eguavoen did in the group stage, which we all applauded. We felt he played a very good football. But his tactical ability was tested in the round of 16. We also saw the deficiency of Eguavoen's tactical ability. Now, there have been lots of twists of fate of if he's going to be retained as the Super Eagles job or if Pacero would be taking the job. Lots of controversy hanging around the Super Eagles job.
Yeah, a lot of controversies, and I think that I don't know the NFF, which one are we going to believe, Brownson Unwana? The NFF said they already signed a pre-contract, whatever, with Pacero, and right now they're coming out to say Eguavoen might likely be leading the Super Eagles. I think for me, you really have to take, when you have people leading, people at the helms, we should take them by their words. They should be people of integrity. So definitely there was no pre-contract whatsoever that was signed or whatever. Because if there were, definitely you will have Pacero take over. That was what they told us. They already signed the contract and it's going to be taken over immediately after the African Cup of Nations. So coming out to say Eguavoen will take over. Yes, Eguavoen, like you said, did well, played some scintillating football, the one we've not seen in a very long time under Genotro, and it was fantastic. But like you said again, his tactical ability was tested against the Ketchis Eagles of Tunisia, and he failed woefully. I mean, woefully. In that game, it was belief of ideas, it was belief of the tactical whatever to actually adopt after the Tunisians seem to have taken over the wings, and of course they've been able to cut our excesses as far as the wing plays are concerned. So I think that by virtue of that, I am of the opinion that we should have allowed Pacero, Jose Pacero, to take over as the Super Eagles coach. And of course, I have a lot of reservations, Brownson. No doubt, Eguavoen is a good coach. His tactical ability is never that. We're told that we might be having Emmanuel Amunike
as an assistant.
I don't know how.
And what happens to Joseph Yobo? What happens to Joseph Yobo?
No, Yobo has not been covering himself in glory. Remember, I think in one of the games we played, Joseph Yobo, when he was supposed to be with the Super Eagles, he was at Super Sports, analyzing the Super Eagles game and all of that. So I think I have not seen Yobo and again, people are talking about his credentials. When you want to take over a coaching job, you need to go for some coaching courses and all of that. I don't think that Joseph Yobo has been able to cover himself in glory as far as that is concerned. So I feel that they should allow Jose Pacero to take over. Eguavoen should return back as the technical head. He will be the head of that very coach.
So, lots of questions.
And Brownson, coaches are always very sentimental. I say it, and I have no regret. I have no regret saying this. Our coaches always very sentimental. They play players, they invite players based on the relationship between them and all of that. I still don't see reason why some of the players that were in that team eventually made the team. Why were some players out there who are doing well, who deserve to be in that team, and some of them are not there?
Now, talking about that, the African Cup of Nations played in January. So most clubs didn't want to release their players.
Nobody saying Dessa was ready to come. He is the most prolific striker outside of the likes of Johnny Gallo, Victor Osimhen.
We have a lineker in that team who's a striker. We had what's his name again? Umar.
Sadiq Umar.
Striker.
You can't compare Peter Olayinka with Dessa.
Coach's preference. So it has to do with coach's preference.
So what was the achievement of Peter Olayinka in the tournament?
So we have a lot of tournaments that will get to
I think that's one of the issues I have with some of our coaches.
Luckily, Philip, I understand how passionate it is when we talk about Super Eagles. But the good thing we need to take home from this African Cup of Nations, we have another tournament next year. Barely 18 months from now, we'll be playing another tournament. So we have another time to see these guys, and it will be playing in the summer, not in January. So it's going to be a good time where we have all our Arsenal ready for this tournament. Now let's leave football a bit and talk about tennis. Congratulations to Rafael Nadal for clinching a record 21st Grand Slam title after beating Daniel Medvedev to clinch to make history. He's the first tennis male player to achieve this feat. I mean, a lot of people said when Djokovic was sent packing from Australia because of the COVID, refusing to take to be vaccinated and all of that, lots of people said that he has been denied the chance of winning or making history. But I mean, for a player like Nadal, saw it as an advantage and went on to make history.
Yeah, fantastic 1-4. I'm really very happy for Rafael Nadal. Nobody tried to stop Novak Djokovic. He's the architect, is the reason why he's not complete, the reason why he was deported from Australia. For Rafael Nadal, I'm really very happy, I'm really very excited for him. He had an opportunity to clinch his 21st Grand Slam last year. It was against the same opponent, Medvedev, at the Flushing Meadows, but Medvedev got the better of him in that one. But this time around, he was able to hold his own and, of course, ensure that he makes history. Right now, he sits top. It's the greatest table tennis.
Maybe temporarily.
Temporarily, yeah, because Novak Djokovic and Roger the Fed Express are still very much on his trail. But wait to see how things pan out. Congratulations to Rafael Nadal.
Now on the female side, Ashley Barty wins first Melbourne title by beating Danielle Collins 6-3, 7-6. 7-2, and I mean, for these ladies, they've been very fantastic. And I think for me, the ladies' corner of the tennis is becoming more interesting because it seems like for every Grand Slam, we just might get a new winner, and that's exactly what we saw for Ashley Barty winning her first Australian Open.
Fantastic one for Ashley Barty. I'm really very happy for her. And for the first time since I think over 44 years, that was the first time they're winning. An Australian will be winning the Grand Slam title. The last person that did that did it in 1974, 75, 76, and I think 1977. 4 Grand Slam titles she won on the bout. And it was this same lady, the woman that presented the title to her. She was really very excited because she happens to be a role model. So I think this lady has come to say when it comes to female tennis in the world, and you can see she's the world #1, taking over from the likes of Serena and Venus Williams, and she's really on top of her game. This is the 3rd title she's winning in almost about 3-4 years. Fantastic one.
Ashley Barty.
We hope that she will continue in that manner.
No doubt, Ashley Barty has been very fantastic. But how many more Grand Slam can she win? Next year, January, we'll be coming back to Australia for the Australian Open. Let's hope someday I should be able to get to Australia to see some of this tennis game live. I mean, time will not allow us to look at what went down on the final day of the transfer window. Kunle Philip, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
All right, I'm really very delighted. And let's not forget Adama Traore Brownson has moved over to Barcelona on a season loan deal.
Yeah, of course. And Fulham, something happened last week. I know I've ended the show, but let's talk about this one quickly. It was a very sad moment after a Fulham fans that had a cardiac arrest in that game. I was watching the game live, and the game was halted for about 40 minutes. You could see the passion and how these players stood together. Both the home team and the visiting team stopped the game right there till the fan was attended to, rushed to the hospital. But of course, he died on his way to the hospital. A very sad one for the young man.
A very sad one. I think one thing I love is something that our administrators, the league management company, should watch and see how passionate these people, are about mankind, the life of a human. It's not that for me in this part of the world, if something of that nature happens in one of our league games, the game will actually go on and no one will probably care about that. I remember Remo Stars playing against, I think it was against Bendel Insurance in the second division. There was an issue and Remo Stars players were being pursued. Was it Remo Stars players or was Bendel Insurance players? They were being pursued with placards.
Yeah,
they were pursued and the players were at the mercy
yes.
of the fans, and they were pursuing them with stick and all of that, and some of them sustained injuries. It really gets to show that nobody cares about anybody in this country. These are things that we should look at, and of course we should imbibe in our league.
Yes, very sad one. We hope that Fulham will really bounce back from this one. Like Philippe, now finally I have to let you go.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to the program today.
Yeah, Brownson.
All right, welcome back. With that, the wrap on our program today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen right now. Now, you can also go to YouTube. Right now, click the search icon on YouTube and type Spot Pizza. When you find Spot Pizza, just click on it and then subscribe to our channel. Now, some people feel when they get subscription, you pay. No, subscription is absolutely free. You can watch our previous episode and, of course, leave us some comments. We'll be so glad to hear from you. My name is Brownson Unwana. On behalf of all the production crew, thank you so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.